Hello, everybody! Hopefully my mic isn't too soft or loud. Oh, it decreased in volume again. Okay, there we go. Hello. we are not as quiet anymore. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. Today we'll be continuing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last we left off, we've started trial. As for the rest of the week, Saturday we are going to be resuming Picayune Dreams. That's all I've got for this week. So let's get started here. Alright, let's jump right in here. Yes, I would like to resume. "23rd October. Defendant's antechamber. Oh wait, is this the correct save? 129. 9. Oh no, this one's way a little bit further. This one's about 20 minutes further ahead. Here we go. Hang on. Oh, never mind. It's all the same. Mr. Naruhodo! What on earth were you playing at just now? Or rather... What on earth were you playing at? Why on earth were you playing at all along? My hypothesis! My amazing hypothesis! You've been picking holes in it from the start! Sorry about that. But you promised me! You said you'd prove that tragic explosion was an accident, not a murder! You said you'd keep my precious invention from falling into anyone else's hands! But all you've done so far is try to undermine me! Yes, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there? But if I just run through some equations... Yes, you see? It's because my work is incomplete. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, man died as a consequence, didn't he? Oh. Oh no! Yeah, somebody's dead right now, buddy. You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster, not just as a scientist, but as a human being! Dude, I think you're fine. I think it looks like it was rigged, to be honest. Well, that might be a little over the top. And while we're on the subject... What about Brock? He's being awful! Blaming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean? He's a disaster, not just as a prosecutor, but as a human being! Well, that's what happens when you go through major life events. Oh, but no, wait! He's the Reaper, isn't he? Perhaps he's not classified as Homo sapiens anymore. Buddy, calm down! Glad that's cleared up. Can I double check something with you? Ah, yes. What? The machine and the demonstration you prepared. They were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume. There was no trickery involved. Uh-oh. I drew the plans for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet. But please, Mr. Naruhodo, you must believe in it. Alright, Professor. I understand. Oh, counsel, defendant! The prosecution's witnesses are ready to take the stand. Court is about to be in session again. Make your way to the courtroom, please. Alright. It all hinges on that demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is as sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. A practical implementation such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition is quite impossible. Yeah. I would have to agree. So really, what should I be trying to prove here? Your client's innocence, first and foremost. Ooh, 23rd October, 11 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witnesses to testify? The prosecution is ready, my lord. As is the defense, my lord. We're doing this all on our own. No Susato in sight. So, Lord Van Zeeks, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes. Indeed, they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. So that testimony we are about to hear can be considered highly reliable. Perfect. A detective of all people. Oh, was it Gina? The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in tragedy, the demonstration on the day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused. Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So, bring forth your witnesses now. Bailiff, show the witnesses in. Alright, what'd you get? These witnesses, whose proximity to the incident on the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. Oh, who are you? Who are you? Hi Gina, I love you. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court to hear. My name is Balzer Loon. I am the impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimento stage. Oh, my name is Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund Ormstein. I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. Oh, balloon! I'm very rich. Okay. Inspector Gina Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Erlock Sholmes agrees. I was on security duty at the exhibition, and I got to go up in one of them balloons. It was amazing. Gina, again. But she did mention that she had seen the disaster from up in a balloon, actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. She's doing good for herself now. There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can you? 60 feet. About 18 meters, then. Ah, the good old metric system. Thank you for your introductions. Now, you will give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the skies. Now, here we go. View from 60 feet up. It was an incident terrible. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There's this huge bang from the stage, and the next second another bang in the sky beside us. And from amidst the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. The cage fell from the sky like a stone, and crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. A most extraordinary collective account, I must say. There were 2. She said there were 2 bangs, though. If it was if it was only the one thing that exploded, it should have been just the one. Could I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions. More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes. Oh. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around... here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. That's one. Then, as power was applied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called birdcage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later... Oh, was that the other boom? Oh, the second explosion occurred, directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. It feels like that wouldn't be a boom, though. The birdcage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to pummel it down into the crystal tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes vis a person inside. The blast was so hot I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. Oh, you've got a little patch signifying your country. I still have lots of money. Thank you, Gots. Hang on, is your name a... Your name has to be a pun. Precisely who is this curious infant? Are you... Yeah, you are. Bohemian boy. Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigmund Ormstein. I have no clue. Hello, Tuspels. You were still very pretty. I'm told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the Great Exhibition. Yeah, I am here in London on sightseeing trip vis my elementary school. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Do we really need that? Oh! When I remove my mask, this is what I look like. I see. A delightful face, I'm sure. Yeah, everybody says so. Great disguise, then. Well, I mean, you just put on a mask. The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused, who was with Mr. Asban on the stage, could possibly have committed the murder. Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution views on the matters are quite clear. So, the defense's cross-examination now, please. Yes, my lord. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's see. Hello, Gots. Hello, Loon. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There's this big, huge bang from the stage, and then the next... and another bang in the sky beside us. I gotta say, I personally don't trust Van Seeks when he says this, and I was gonna press this anyway. What do you got for us? So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air? Yup. Isn't it amazing what detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling you, Odo, being a lawyer is a mug game. You should have done the voice and we could go flying together. You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway. Could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? Everything. We saw everything. Of course, because we were above it all. That dodgy cove came climbing into that cage and that dodgy professor pulling all them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was that massive bang and the cage disappeared. Just like that. You are describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe. I don't know what to make of it. But then there was another bang, right in the ear. I looked around, and it was a huge great fireball right next to us in this... Oh, there was nothing there before. Oh, what you got, buddy?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Master Gotts, does your memory of the day differ? My teacher at elementary school says that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Ah, yes, what was that again? Wilhelm Gottfried Sigmund Ormstein. Just the 4 names then? The point is, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps? Why, get it right, Odo! It's Inspector Lestrade! Why does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment? I think technically she's not an inspector yet. That is not what I saw. Oh! Oh? Yeah. There was a second explosion and it was right beside our balloon. That is true. But I'm sure. Which is what I say, ain't it? 1 minute there was nothing there. The next was a massive explosion. My teacher at elementary school says that when someone else is speaking, if you are rude enough to interrupt, yo, you will have the most awful life imaginable. Oh no, Gina! Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy? Look at it. I do like these guys. Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky. Oh! A green balloon? Eh? What? I never saw nothing like it. Well, I did! I saw it, and you can't say I didn't! I will complain to the council! I will cry and scream! My testimony is the truth! I am Bohemian Prince! You cannot say it's a lie! That is not allowed! Playing the bleeding royalty card, are ya? Typical. As the orphan who likes to remind people that she works for Her Majesty's police. Okay, but it looks like... there was that, like... In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interest of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. Alright. It was not the sky that exploded, it was a green balloon that was next to it. If I recall, wasn't there... Yeah, there was this green cloth. And it's burnt too, so I guess that's what Gina meant by great big fireball. Because it would have been full of hot air, so it would have looked like a fireball, so I guess... Fell from the sky like a stone and crashed it. Because I don't see anything else that I gotta... into a tower. Okay, I feel comfortable enough just presenting this, but let's see what Naruhodo has to say first. Prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine, but what if it was actually some kind of switch-around trick instead? That would mean that the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. Ah, someone dropped the actual body there then. The explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. Does that mean present? Because he has, I guess this is to find out more.
Objection.
Okay, no, I'm stupid. Oops, sorry. The defense would have to accept the penalty given. I guess it wasn't that. Oh! No! Yeah, your balloons were damaged!
Objection!
Hang on, your balloons were damaged, good sir! What about this cloth? Mr. Loon, in your testimony. Wait, hang on a second. What's your name again? Baltzaloon. So, balloon? You said that all 3 of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosiones, it would have been terrible. I wonder if you might know what this is. Oh, I think it may be... See, part of a balloon. A burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry? The envelope. Pardon. That is the large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want to rip it when you are in the sky. just as I thought. This piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Mr. Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. Huh? If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. There we go. Oh, your balloons, buddy! If a balloon exploded that day, why didn't the man say so? Maybe everyone on board was killed. Oh no, having just spent 10 whole pounds for the experience? How awful! I love how this whole,
Objection!
Oh, here we go, Van Zeeks. I love how the whole jury is like a bunch of distinguished, like, adults, and then there's just the kid on the corner with the cob. That instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage, the point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon. Causing the balloon to explode? Yes, eminently plausible. An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. Well, who was in there, first of all? This... I cannot accept! Oh, I assume it was an unauthorized balloon that started flying then. Why not, Mr. Loon? You are suggesting that I am a liar! That person's died in a balloon accident! There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Oh, shut up, Van Zeeks! The victim was the sole fatality that day. Well, then who died then? That's right, and I prove it! Balthazar balloon is not a liar! There was no such balloon in the sky! It is not possible! You're saying it's impossible? Why? This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were Oh, no, Van Zeeks. We should know how many balloons are in the sky. I think that's pretty important, buddy.
Objection!
Objection! But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. I concur. There's clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It is imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition. Ah. Grazie, my lord. Look at this guy! I like this guy. Okay, Mr. Loon's balloons. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar! Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely! All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers! If they fell to the ground in an explosion, what a catastrophe! Well, you can't get away from the fact that a burnt up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. This stupido ragazzo is mistaken! My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway! Oh, it wasn't his then! So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not one belonging to you? Si, exactement! If he even saw a balloon in the first place. I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. Oh. If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be war, all out war! Gina's over there. Oh, you're still accepting balloons from the guy, though. What happened to all out war? Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying. That doesn't change the fact that the testimony and the evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault with the witnesses' statements, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. Yeah, I got you, buddy. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Alright, counsel, you may now cross-examine the witness. I got you. So, the first thing we're gonna do is press that last statement there, because that means we have a rogue balloon in the sky. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers and fell to the ground in an explosion with a catastrophe. Kenya? Coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on stage. No! Use zigzag stripes anyway. Okay, so it wasn't your balloon then. You mean the color's wrong? Si, signor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet, a piece of green cloth was found at the scene, and so unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that can be. For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloons flying flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date, unfortunate. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree. No, but the little kid said that he saw one explode right next to them, and it was green. You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? Si, exactement! As the signor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly, this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken. Oh! Hang on. Hang on, the little kid's upset. Is something wrong, Master Gotts? Oh, it's Master Wilhelm Gottfried. Oh god, I can't read that! Kid! Gottsreich Sigmund Ostein. It was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear all over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. Money. If you don't have evidence, Ragazzo, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh? Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is evidence? Oh, to give a simple explanation, young man. Yeah, do you have like a, I don't know, what kind of evidence would you have? A photograph, for instance? Some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here. Oh, shit! Good gracious. What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. Oh, yeah, he has a huge-ass camera with him. I took lots and lots of photographs. Of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar, the balloon, and the instantaneous kinesis experiment. Did you take a picture of that? Yeah, one picture. Oh, really? You did take one? But all I wanted was to ride in a balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Oh, hello, Crimson! How are you? Hope your day's been good. Never mind that. Can you show us that photograph? Look at this little kid. Of course. And then you will see. You will see that I am not lying. That I really did see a green balloon. How's your camera? Huh? Huh? It's black and white, buddy. My day's been a-okay, hope you've been well. That's good to hear. I've been doing good today as well. It, snowed quite a bit. So I had, I had online classes today, so I didn't have to drive in the snow. So I got to stay home and work on stuff that I wanted to work on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a whole ass black and white color. Well, I see you are all too shocked to speak. Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that is not my fault! That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera! Yeah, it's on a black and white, buddy. He's crying with the umlauts! How does he do that? That's one very Bohemian sounding cry. How do I do that? Very well, the court will accept this photograph as evidence. Alright, here we go. It shows another balloon that he claims was green and exploded moments after he took the shot. Well, there's like a beam of light shining towards it. Cries in Bohemian. Hang on, yeah, this is a whole ass black and white photo. There's like a beam going here though. There's also no one in this, there's also no one in this hot air balloon. And I know the balloon guy was claiming that all of his balloons had passengers that day, but this one is conspicuously empty. This is probably from when, because we found like a foldable crossbow at the scene as well. So this is from when they shot it down. The smoke happened because I don't know. Why did you decide to have a smoke screen, Albert? You stupid MF. It's not my fault. It's the fault of the person who made the camera. Oh, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia moments to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang. And a hot wind rushed over my face. Oh, that means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. Good on you, kiddo. Good job. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. I could not give the flying fig. Lovely language you've picked up. I love this cast. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. The young Bohemian boy claims to have seen another, fourth balloon. But Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility. And it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in this air. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. Alright. Okay, as I said, safely. All three of my balloons are carrying passengers. Yeah, something's wrong with that, buddy, because this one doesn't have any. I thought he said something like that. Unfortunately, the photograph Mr. Gotts took can't tell us the color of the balloon, but it can tell us something else. Something crucially important. What? It shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Oh, my goodness, you're right! Surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There would be no sense in it otherwise. See! They are for pleasure, for seeing the view! My balloons only fly with passengers! Yeah, that means it wasn't your balloon! There's a balloon theft going on! Unauthorized use of airspace! Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon! I know nothing! What do you say? 90? Okay, I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. I love this guy's outfit though. Cool ass hot air balloon hat. There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition. But why would you send an empty balloon onto the skies if you weren't gonna use it for machinations? It managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without realizing. See, the competition is trying to steal my profits. I did not notice because of the experiment. Experimento that went wrong on the stage. This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Asmund was beamed from the stage below. Right. So them scraps that fell to the ground after and left him scorch marks. If they didn't come from the stage, they didn't come from the stage at all. It was the bits of the balloon written down. Because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating above the experimentation stage. That is ominous as all hell if I've ever read anything.
Objection!
This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue traitor. Clearly it has nothing to do with the case. No, there's more! There's a whole ass beam shooting towards it! Vinzeeks? Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. No, Vanzeeks! There's gonna be a prompt asking me if there's anything else, and I'm gonna be... Oh. Yeah, these people aren't convinced, I don't think. Really? Have we really got to the truth yet? No, I can't let this opportunity slip away. Yeah, these people see this huge ass line on the photograph and go, yeah, that's supposed to be there. Part of me is wondering if Asman planned this. No, it couldn't have been Asman. I think I don't think Asman would plan this just to take someone down with him. Someone else knew about this plan and was going to like use it to kill him, and that's why they had Albert make this whole smoke screen with the machine. Otherwise, so that they could hide the murder. What else can this photograph tell us? Is there nothing more we can learn from it? There's more! Oh, thank God I pressed there's more! I didn't realize I was actually gonna get a prompt! I just pressed the A button! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait! Please don't give your decisions yet! The photograph of Mr. Gotts may well be hiding one more vital clue. Who's that? Please get away from the camera! Please stop being zoomed in! A vital clue!
Objection!
Got jump scared by that Waluigi-looking guy. We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now, so tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove? The cause of the explosion, the white beam protruding from the smokescreen. We can reasonably assume the pictured balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. Yeah, that is right, yeah! It was not my fault! Evidently. Because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon, being filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly explosively ignited. Van Zeeks, you gotta stop! No, that's not what happened. What? I really like this game's pursuit theme. Alright. It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense. You will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Do you guys see this line and just think that's normal? Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see. Plain enough to where you can see it with your own, like, unmasked eyes. And what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have, which is the foldable crossbow. In a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon exploded is right here! This white line! Can I can probably just do that, right? The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. Yeah, good job, Master Gotts. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film. No, it's aimed right at the balloon, you stupid bitch! I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. Judge! You already have glasses. Get another pair. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright light really is. You don't need a magnifying glass. Guys, it's right there. Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes. Oh golly, do you think it might be lightning? But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire. The bolt of fire heading straight for the balloon, like an arrow. Yeah, they're finally getting it. And now we presume. I was joking about them getting glasses. No, keep in mind that was the judge that asked that, and he already has glasses. He needs like an updated pair because, good God. Indeed, even to my age, eyes would. Well, you didn't see it at first, and it's right there. It would appear to be a flame of some sort. My word! Are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the bomb? Or balloon? Not bomb, whoops! That's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height. Well, yeah, they don't know about the crossbow.
Objection!
Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that exactly what did happen. What evidence? I got you, buddy. I got the crossbow! If such evidence exists, Council, then for goodness sake, present it, man! Judge is getting fed up! Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame, that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? It's the crossbow! This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Good lord! Is that a crossbow? Sure is! An arrow dipped in oil and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled bomb. Balloon! I keep reading it as bomb! I can't read! Are you suggesting that crossbow was used to deliberately... Blimey, you're right! The streak of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then, the explosion of the balloon. It was intentional! Very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow, igniting the hydrogen gas inside it. Yeah, no, take that, you flamboyant ass! Council, this is an extraordinary supposition. We have evidence of it! If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question. The noise of the discharge? Of course. Yeah, that's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. A crossbow's not silent? I would have assumed that it would have made a pshum sound, you know? Oh, I guess, but the experiment was happening at the same time, so it would have been masked anyway. Oh, yeah. If someone had shot a gun off in the exhibition grounds, it would have caused a real panic. But with the big explosion, there was a very big panic anyway, no? I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all of this, but something feels wrong.
Objection!
Do you understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nipponese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensured... What? Wait a minute! What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all? Or... what? My goodness. Yeah, what is this implying? It's implying that... yeah, it's implying that someone else had planned this. They strung along both Harebrain and... Asman. And... prepared this murder beforehand, and we have no clue who it is. Now I understand. That's what that sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did I just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. Oh. Oh! Okay, so someone disguised as Mr. Asman then somehow stole the cage on the stage, and the real Asman, already dead, was in the hot air balloon. Somehow. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage in the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared, to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think you'll all agree it's entirely plausible that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Well, yeah, that also makes it a premeditated murder then. So, I feel like that gets Harebrained out of the... I don't know, maybe he could be prosecuted as an accomplice. It's ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic. Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the Crystal Tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that? If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can be easily explained by some simple deception. Juror number 3. All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim, Mr. Asman, and having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double. Yes, of course. So in fact, Mr. Asman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
Objection!
That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the 4 winds when it exploded. Oh, hey, Francisco Von Carva! This isn't the game that you're from, but thank you for the follow nonetheless! Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would have very much depend on the mixture ratio. Juror number 4! Flying balloon... I love the PLNG tuber, thank you! I am slowly but surely working on a new one that actually blinks instead of staring blankly into the camera. It is also a little bit more cleaned up than what it is right now, but yeah, thank you. And hello. Hope you're doing all good. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. The mixture ratio? 1,000-yard stare. Yeah, that's me. I love the fact that we're getting help from the jurors, too. Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns. That would be unavoidable. But not to such an extent to render this whole obscene charade impossible. So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. This still kind of implicates Harebrained, though, as a potential accomplice. Why does juror number 4 look like the fat man from Thomas the Tank Engine? No, I don't think so. The fat man from Thomas the Tank Engine has... Is he bald? He's shaven, I'm pretty sure. He's just a man with a hat. He doesn't look as scruffy as this guy. Hang on. Sir Topham Hatt, that's what his name was. Yeah, no. He's quite bald. He's quite empty. No hair seen on this guy. Is Ryunosuke your husbando? I think he's my favorite character. Not husbando, I don't think. How old is he? Hang on. Okay, I don't know how old he is. He still wouldn't be... honestly, I describe him more as a scrunkly. He's not my husbando. He's a scrunkly. I just like the guy. I think he's silly. If I search up Ryunosuke, it's gonna give me spoilers. If anyone is husbando, husbando, what's it? Husbando candidate, that's the word. If anyone's a husbando candidate, it'd be Sholmes. But I think that's like the basic choice. Well, is it Edgeworth? No, Edgeworth is... Nah, I'd say Edgeworth is... Or Edgeworth already has a loving husband. I can't come in between him and Phoenix. Oh, goodness me. I was about to say, yeah, my favorite character from the Phoenix Wright series is Professor Layton. Edgeworth reminds me of Sephiroth. It's the same hair. If Edgeworth grew out his hair, he'd look like Sephiroth. It means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time. No, I think Hairbrain still could have pre-planned it beforehand, and then he just had an accomplice. I feel like that's what the jurors are gonna think. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Ryunosuke, I feel like you've just dug yourself into a hole, though. Well, Francis can't credibly maintain that Professor Hairbrain is a suspect now. Oh, hold it. Who are you holding upping? Hairbrain! I need you to stop! Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor! But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry? What's all this about, Mr. Hairbrain? I, Albert Hairbrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. No! He doesn't want his hypothesis to be wrong, so that's why he's confessing! You fool! Oh my god! Yes, it was me! With my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. Ugh. What are you doing? Yeah, my words exactly! Order! Order! Defendant, explain this sudden confession.
Objection.
Professor Hairbrain, what are you talking about? It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis in my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick, all an elaborate prank. Where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would be all over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it. It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you'll just let me, I can prove— Oh, Barak! Yes? I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So please, ensure that the special dispensation for scientific equipment act is adhered to and protect my creation. That's all he really cares about. He doesn't want it to be looked at, but I don't think he realizes what's gonna happen. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice at this critical juncture. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend. What? And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in light of the accused's confession. Okay. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. Uh-oh! The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter? Oh no! Well, Professor Hairbrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence? Or do I uphold my client's request but to see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Uh-oh, what do we do? In the end, I feel like his life is way more important than his hypothesis. Or has all the knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Oh no, Ryunosuke! Mr. Naruhodo! There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something, but what? The defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact... Oh no! Oh no! What do I say? Oh, I want to protect Albert. But one of these is going to... No, I think his life is much more worth it than his hypothesis. I'm sorry. No, I can't say it. My client placed his faith in me. I can't just let him down. Oh. What I must give up on is not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what can I protect? Susato! You're back! Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susato-san! What? What are you? Oh, hi! Oh, there I go! Ah! My first Susato takedown in 6 months! There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. Welcome back, Susato! Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. Professor Hairbrain! Yes? Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of the truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Asman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now. Oh, that poor person you just threw that at. So, you finally opened your eyes. What? As for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Oh, he was trying to protect him! He was indulging him to protect him. Ah. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Baroque. Lord Van Zieks. Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. Yeah, it's his friend. In truth, there is one thing. Something I remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow. Oh! I beg your pardon? Oh shit, he saw it! Professor! Did the man have any distinguishable features? What did he look like? Taller than me, and thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and whiter than mine. Let me see. One less lens than me too. A monocle, a rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular that will help to positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. Oh shit! What? He built the machine? Oh, it's that guy then. This guy's the one that's the thing. That's right. Mr. Asman introduced me to him a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. Enoch Drebber? Does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name by any scientist wishes to hear. That man's an abomination. Oh shit. Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is he? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turned out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money. Oh, Albert got duped! When magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhand tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with expertise of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before. The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you. Alright, that's our new culprit. Alright. So it's true then. My invention, my great machine, is just a grand illusion. Oh, buddy! Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it. I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. Well, he wanted to preserve it in his memory. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen. But at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. You could still research it though. Just because you hit one rock in the road doesn't mean you gotta quit. I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built. And the true nature of Mr. Drebber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. Oh, entirely possible Mr. Asmund and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. Oh. When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. In the way Drebber described. When smoke started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. Oh, Hair Rain. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Oh, Hair Rain. Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry. Oh. Oh, buddy. You can try again. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Van Zeeks? My lord? The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Oh, shit! Oh yeah, Mr. Drebber. I thought he meant someone else. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with some Pinoa. Why is he so extrally animated? With pleasure, my lord. Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord? When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. Hell yeah, I got you! I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. Yep. I almost said case dismissed, but that would mean the whole case is over. Woo! 23rd October, it's 1:36 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh, Hair Rain! Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes? I'm glad you got your energy back. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry. This poor guy. Did you really have no idea, Professor? What Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean. What he was really constructing. Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it. Alright. In that case, I won't say any more. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands. So we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow. Oh, the double glasses. Oh, thank you. You're doing so much for me. Well, you got your energy back. Susato! I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive. Postcard? What postcard? Oh, I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise! Iris! Well, did it work? It sure did. It lifted me out of a crisis. I was surprised, all right. Especially when she threw me to the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out. You threw me because you were happy to see me? Maybe we should stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future. Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. Well, you made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she doesn't miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Oh. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Oh, yeah, you saved us. Having you at my side in court gives me the strength I have to win. So, I'm, delighted to see you back in London. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest? Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I made one of my special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful! I can't wait. She's back! I love the music in this game. Susato-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that makes me feel at the time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. To be continued? To be continued. Alright, unfortunately, my throat is not holding on for much longer, so I might have to call it quits for tonight. But we got to the end of that trial. Fortunately, the stream's only going to be an hour long, but I need to prioritize the fact that my throat is currently scratchy. But thank you guys for stopping by. As always, if you'd like, come join the Discord server. We have fun here, I swear. If you want to see my art or other people's art, check out my Blue Sky or my Tumblr. Twitter is completely dead. It was eaten by a rat. Don't expect it to come back now. And if you want to watch fast streams, come look at the YouTubes. But that's all I've got for you guys tonight. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Pretty well. Thanks for coming by.